Good morning, gang. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the show. And listen, before we dive into the latest AI news story that we're about to bring you, please hit that like, hit that subscribe. We really, really appreciate it. We're a new young show, and your support truly does mean the world to us. And obviously, a like, it doesn't cost anything. It literally costs nothing. Just go like. And if you don't like it, hit dislike. You know, it's still an engagement, so it all helps. Listen, Will, what can you share with the audience today? This is
today
we've got to be quick today, haven't we? So we've
we got about 10-15 minutes to talk about this, but hopefully that'll be enough. And to be fair, we've been staggering out quite a few stories at the moment because there's a lot happening within the AI world, and this is no different. This is a really interesting story. I find we bounce around though between all the frontier labs. But so we're back to our friends at OpenAI today, because you may or may not have seen they released their own AI-powered browser. Now, we've spoken about AI-powered browsers before. We've talked about Dia, which is by the browser company, which was recently acquired by Atlassian, just in time by the looks of things because of this release. We've also talked about Perplexity's Comet, which is a very popular AI-powered browser. Perplexity even tried to buy Google Chrome during the antitrust lawsuit. So it all connects. But now OpenAI decided to step into the game like the hostile company that they are and release their very own AI-powered browser. You're watching some sort of the demo video of it on the screen, but it basically is Chrome. It is Chromium, so it should feel very similar to what you'd be used to if you use Google Chrome anyway, but it's got ChatGPT deeply integrated into it. You can get it to control your screen, and it will even have a mouse that clicks around. It has just a chat panel, so you can ask it about websites that you're on. It can interact with your tabs. It can do all sorts of various integrated things. And to their credit, it is very clever. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of people here that are going to be criticizing and also taking sides, because obviously there's a bunch of AI-powered browsers, so you're going to have your fan favorites. But yes, a very interesting development from OpenAI, quite hostile in nature. I always find they do come out swinging, and if they can create a product, they will. For me, I'm not that excited about AI browsers. I want to be, I really truly want to be, but Perplexity's Comet didn't really get me that excited. Dia, I've tried multiple times, and I just can't get behind it.
Why is that, Will? Why are you not excited about them? I'm just curious. I mean, admittedly, I haven't looked at this ChatGPT browser yet, so I can't really sort of offer too much thought, and I'd love to know what the community, if they've used it, what their thoughts are. What's your take on it, Will?
I think certain parts of it is useful. For example, summarization of web pages. Like I like some AI features sprinkled in there, but there's certain things in there they're pushing, like this computer use thing where you can go. They do a demo of it ordering food for you. So you can go into ChatGPT and in the side panel of the app and go, order my favorite takeaway, and you watch this mouse sort of move around the screen like it's learning to draw for the first time, haphazardly clicking its way through Just Eat in the UK or DoorDash in America, and it's I mean it's cool, but is it really that useful? Is it really that useful? I just struggle to find the use cases, and I feel sometimes that it's shoehorned into things instead of actually considering why or how those AI features might be used. It might be a controversial take, but I've tried a bunch of them, and I've found none of them that useful. So I'd love to hear from people. And if they
ultimately, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's ultimately, what is the use case? What problem is anything, any business, any startup, any technology is solving? It's what is the use case? What's the problem? Who's the target audience? And has it been validated? Ultimately, and maybe this is part of our validation process to see if people are actually gonna, use it.
Maybe so.
I don't know. Literally, does it solve a problem? Helping somebody order their food faster by just saying?
But I'm not sure it is faster. I don't know. It's not. I'm not sure it is fast. If you watch the video of it, it's just like this mouse just sort of. It's cool. It's a cool demonstration of technology and its novelty to watch. And as you said, maybe it is a first generation product. They're sending, lots of feelers out, as are a lot of companies, to how this technology, might well integrate into workflows, and it might be pulled in a few years. But no, it's.
And how do you think? How do you think Google are thinking about this?
Well, I think this is the ultimate, because obviously they control Chromium, the underlying engine. They control the most popular search engine in the world, and I'm sure I think I've heard rumors. Don't quote me. I've heard rumors of them baking in their own AI into their own search engine and browser and everything related. So I'm sure they will. They're all going to release their own competitive versions. But I've got one other big issue with this as well, which is also something that we talk about at length, which is the privacy aspect. It is so deeply violating of privacy, in my opinion. You are basically giving over your entire. It can see your pages, literally see pictures of your pages that you're visiting. It can sends that data off to OpenAI. It's recording your entire browser history. It's all in context. It's all going off. And ChatGPT and OpenAI do say, oh, well, you can go in incognito mode, or you can clear what ChatGPT looks at. But it doesn't change the fact that if you're ever using it, it has to go off somewhere. It all goes off to OpenAI servers. I mean, it's just an excruciating amount of data. I can't help. We are having a very interesting conversation. We were yesterday with sort of a regional IT support company, and one of the points were raised that probably AI will be baked into the operating system eventually. Local models running on your computer, and they'll be able to do everything that ChatGPT Atlas can do in the browser, but it's baked into an even lower level into the operating system, and it can also be private and local to your computer running on the machine, because I just can't get over the gross violation of privacy. I wouldn't want to use it purely based on the amount of data it's consuming, because I use a browser all day long for all sorts.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we talked about this, didn't we? How AI is going to be sort of, like you said, baked into the operating system. It was one of our earlier videos, and it's obviously filtering down, and certainly those sort of concerns around sort of privacy is wild when you just open your eyes to the reality of the amount of information that you're just going to be offering to some conglomerate, basically. I mean, let's be honest. It's all big tech, and it's all conglomerates sucking in that data. And for those who are skeptical, governments come knocking on those companies' doors, asking for
always.
access. You kindly shared the podcast with the founder of Telegram. What was the show called again? I can't remember the name of the show.
By Lex Friedman.
Lex Friedman. And, his story is absolutely wild, how basically he was arrested and interviewed and basically asked to provide backdoors and all this sort of...
meddle in foreign elections.
Meddling and taking down. It's a really worthwhile listen to. I haven't gone through the whole podcast yet. I'm working my way through it, but
it's a long podcast. I'm still working my way through it, but it's a good one, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Is like people are just so sleepwalking into this dystopian nightmare of Big Brother. 1984. Surveillance state, monitoring everything you're doing, watching everything you're doing, looking at what you're buying, with digital currencies, around the corner. Everything's going to be sort of monitored, controlled. I mean, it's a dystopian future that I do not want to live in, and this is just the stuff. We're literally seeing this play out as part of the bigger,
100%.
bigger sort of vision for some, and it's not a vision that I want to be part of. And I think the privacy side is absolutely critical, and I just hope and wish more and more people would wake up to this reality. And 100%. Cool, yeah, this is a new tool, and let's jump on it and let's play with it. But just take a moment to, just stop being a consumer and just being a sheep, and just think, right, why are these things being introduced? What's the just think, just be mindful, be careful. Don't follow the herd. No,
100%. And to circle it back to this new release and any AI-powered browser and anything that you're sending off to third parties to do with this kind of stuff is these technologies are creeping deeper into people's workflows, which I think is ultimately a good thing. They are helpful, regardless of my feelings of it being in a browser. But as it gets deeper into the workflow, the more it knows about you, the more it's sending off. And the more ultimately the companies and the data analysts looking at all that information coming in will know about you as well. It is certainly a concern. I'd love to see how this plays out. And again, another interesting point raised yesterday in the meeting was, most people are not going to do anything or think about it until something goes really wrong. And you can see something like this. I mean, even in the demo video, you have emails. They're demonstrating being in Gmail, helping ChatGPT, helping you to reply to your emails. That means it's got access to your entire inbox. We open proprietary products in our web browser all day, every day. Suddenly, it's going to be able to see that. People are it's just a staggering amount of information. It's going to know all about you.
Privacy is literally going to disappear unless people fight for it and actually say no. And vote by either using it or not using it. I think the reality is the majority of the population, just don't really consider these things. Even intelligent people, people running, large businesses and organizations. It's wild, the lack of awareness. We were talking to an engineering company, and he was just saying, again, this is so common across the board with people having conversations with. It's people at an awareness level, but a very low level sort of thought process in terms of, I don't know, just they're just scratching the surface. They're not really getting below the surface, and everyone's sort of using it even just to tidy up their emails. But the problem is they're putting sensitive, potentially information in an email.
Well, there you go. I was going to say, there you go. There goes the email data.
It's the security risks potential is just wild. No oversight, no controls, and this is just across the board with so many industries. And I just, what can you do other than try and do videos like this and talk about it? Hopefully, it'll get shared and start people, it gets people thinking about that concern. And build things, like we're building privacy first AI solutions. So, it's really, really interesting, and, and something we're both passionate about. It's one of those, another tool for the masses just to plug in and be a zombie.
No, I'd urge you, I'd urge you to be careful. We'll see what you go on, but I'd urge everyone to give it a try. It's interesting. See how it could fit into your workflows, because inevitably there will be private versions. Hopefully,
I think this is
we might build them.
This is the challenge one, isn't it? This is the challenge, because we want people to embrace AI. We want people to use AI. Because we can see, we know what the future is going to look like, and we're all for AI. So it's that sort of dichotomy between the future and people getting used to it and trying these things and experimenting these things and embracing these things, and that's all positive. I just think there's a real lack of awareness of risks, and just do you know what, it's a thin line. Which I think we give a good impression of on this show, is that it has so many benefits, and and it's gonna overturn humanity, hopefully, in the best possible way. But at the same time, you've got to be super careful about all of the risks. And if it goes wrong, it could go really quite wrong. And that's what the conversation we've got to have. You can't sit here and go the whole time AI is brilliant, this is fantastic, because some parts of it isn't, and those are the things we have to have conversations about in order to get the best out of this technology for everyone. Absolutely. I think that's perfectly summarized it. So Perfect. Listen, let's wrap it up. I'm sure everyone's got stuff to be getting on with, as do we. But listen, guys, if you're still here, I would love to hear what you have got to say. I've responded to a few comments from some earlier videos. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for pointing out that I've got no idea about copyright law. Of course, I don't. But yeah, keep it coming. You know, this is the point of having these conversations. It's the thought. It's for us to think about these things as we're building. I mean, in many respects, you're witnessing us brainstorming, because these are the sorts of conversations we have behind closed doors as we're, you know, reimagining the future, as we're building the future.
Absolutely.
So I really, really appreciate your support. Share, like, and do all those amazing things, and we'll continue to keep bringing you the latest news. Take care, guys.
Absolutely. Cheers.